Hi, my name is Kanghyun Kim, student of Korean National University of Transportation in Uiwang, South Korea. I want to tell you about railway of TSR and TKR. Before starting, let's figure out features of train first. There are many transportation methods we can use such as airplane, ships, automobile, bus, and others. But today, why do many countries use train? Yeah, it's quite simple. There are many advantages than others. Let's check out the advantages. First, safety. Many safety equipment are installed on the railways. This is ATP, Automatic Train Protection. This is the broad meaning of railway signal facilities and their accompanying systems. This is ATS, Automatic Train Stop. This stops automatically when the train violates operating condition. This is ATC, Automatic Train Control. When the location of preceding train is identified, a safe driving speed and stop signals are instructed to the subsequent train to prevent collision. This is CTC, Centralized Traffic Control. This is equipment at the Central Command Center that handles all trains, signals, and turnout within its jurisdiction and operates them collectively and remotely. Not only these, but also many other safety equipment are installed. Second, train is reliable. Except for some special cases, train runs even though the weather conditions are bad, and the rail tracks are only used by train, so there's no traffic jam, no pedestrian. So this makes train can't be late if it has a good schedule design. Third, eco-friendly. The amount of CO2 emitted by railways when transporting unit load 6 times lower than automobile and 13 times lower than cargo. An electric train using renewable energy from wind and solar system, there's no any CO2 emissions. Fourth, train is economical. It can transport more people and cargo with less energy than others, so it can save fuels than others, and this means cost is lower than others. But there are some weaknesses too. To put them simply, train uses the facilities exclusively. If lack of usage is continued, it can't be operated. Noise and vibrations are generated when train pass by. Alright, so far we have briefly discussed the pros and cons of railways. Let's watch a video and then I'll tell you the railways connected to Korea.
In other news, South and North Korea are wrapping up their 2018 just as positively as they started it. Officials from the two Koreas held a groundbreaking ceremony on Wednesday for their joint railway and road projects north of the border. Now, most of us will remember that the leaders of the two Koreas promised to move ahead with this project back in April, but the two sides have actually been making on and off again attempts to link their transport networks for nigh on 20 years now. Our Unification Ministry correspondent Oh Jung-hee reports.
Railways running across the Korean peninsula have been cut since the two Koreas' division after the Korean War. In June 2000, the leaders of South and North Korea met for the first time, and their meeting led to an agreement to restore the peninsula's western Gyeonggi Rail Line. And that's how this train station, Torasan, came into being in 2002. Located only 700 meters away from the demilitarized zone, Torasan is the northernmost train station in the south. But despite the two Koreas' grand goal of restoring the railway, few trains have traveled along this route. After a test run in 2007, cargo trains used to cross the border on their way to the now suspended inter-Korean factory park, the Kaesong Industrial Complex, but those trains only ran from 2007 to 2008. Since then, Torasan Station has rather served more as a transit office between the two Koreas than a rail station. We've come 56 kilometers from Seoul to arrive at this border station, and from here, there's another 205 kilometers to go to reach Pyongyang. But as you can see, the railway tracks here that stretch into North Korea are empty. South Korean trains that arrive here can't go any further. This is the last point on South Korea's Western Railway, but this station will also become the first train station heading to North Korea once the inter-Korean railways are connected. And this means a lot more than just increasing inter-Korean trade. It means that South Korea, which can only trade goods with Eurasian countries using shipping, will be connected to the continent's rail network, ending decades of isolation. The Trans-Korean Railway will be linked directly to the Trans-Manchurian and Trans-Siberian railways, which offer routes to other railways that cut through Eurasia. The distance goods have to travel would drop by 10,000 kilometers compared to shipping, reducing time and costs. North Korea is well aware of this fact. A senior North Korean government economist told the Associated Press the Korean peninsula has a great advantage in terms of location, and if Pyongyang uses railways from South Korea through Siberia, then other countries would prefer these rails to shipping. South Korea was able to join the Organization for Cooperation Between Railways back in June upon approval by 28 member states, including North Korea. Though the actual railway construction won't begin yet, and many more surveys need to be done, Wednesday's groundbreaking ceremony and Seoul's membership in the intergovernmental organization opens the door to future possibilities. 우정희, 아리랑 뉴스.
As you watch the video, Korea wants to connect the railways to China and Russia to connect railways to the world. So many specialists have made effort to analyze North Korean railway and how to connect with efficient methods. Some South Korean specialists visited to North Korea, and my university launched Eurasian Transportation Institute for this. There are many ways to connecting to other countries, but in this time, we'll see the connection to Russia only. In Russia, there's a really long rail line called Trans-Siberian Railway, short for TSR. Its length is the longest line in the world, 9,288 kilometers long. It takes about 1 week for passenger train and 2 weeks for freight train from the starting station Vladivostok to the end station Moscow. TKR, Trans-Korean Railway, is a line in Korea, but this line is discontinued among the demilitarized zone, short for DMZ. If those railway lines are continued among the center line, TKR is connected to Asia and Europe through China and Russia from Busan. Actually, this TSR is already connected with TKR, North Korea Najin, Russia Kazan. Okay, let's think this railway line have been connected. Thanks to this connection, there is a revolutionary change in distribution. We can save our time and money than sending freight by ship. For example, if we send our cargo from Seoul to Moscow by ship, it takes about 4 weeks, but by train, it takes about 2 weeks. Train is 2 times faster than ship. Another example, if we send 1 container from Seoul to Pyongyang by ship, it spends $800, but by train, it spends only $200. Train is 4 times cheaper than ship. This makes Busan as a distribution hub connecting continents and oceans. Korea has a stronger influence in distribution than before. So, Korea can extend the share of the market and achieve economic growth. But there are some problems we need to solve. First, gauge. Simply, the gauge is a distance between tracks. Korea uses standard gauge 1435 millimeters gauge, and Russia uses broad gauge 1520 millimeters gauge. So the train designed standard gauge can't run on broad gauge. Second, the international situation. Is there any country who wants unified Korea? Other countries don't want that, because unified Korea should be stronger, and this can be a huge burden to other countries. The gauge problem is actually already solved in many ways. First, train on train. Pick up different gauge train on suitable gauge train. Second, change the suitable bogie. Third, transfer. The simplest method. Number 4, 3 tracks. A couple is for a standard gauge, and one and another is for a broad gauge. Number 5, variable gauge device. This is the device applied to bogie, makes the wheel distance suitable where the gauge is changed. This device is already invented in South Korea. The international situation, it has been harder than before. There is a war between Russia and Ukraine, a trade war between America and China, missiles of North Korea, Japanese military issues. I wish those issues get resolved as a peaceful settlement, but it seems spending a lot of time to reconciliation. To me, connecting TSR and TKR is my vision. Today, many international situations block to connect the TKR between South and North. But when it comes to the point, I believe that Korea should connect the TKR and TSR as quickly as possible. At that time, I want to be involved in many projects for TKR and TSR connecting. For that time, I'm studying for master's degree in structural and track dynamics. After getting master's degree, I would like to run for doctor's degree in other country. I think Korea is not a high level of technology, just applying something or other country's idea. And also, I want to widen my sight over Korea. After that, I will be involved in many projects. Finally, I want to teach my students for connecting TKR and TSR. I think I can't achieve all of my goals, so I want my students to achieve my goals too. I believe this makes my dream will be realized and much bigger than I ever thought by my students. Ultimately, this should make Korea more stronger and powerful in future. This is Gangyun Kim. Thanks for watching.